Yo, listen up. The streets are talking, and this isn't just another rumor. Max B just went off on Wack 100, and it's bigger than anyone expected. The Clubhouse room erupted. Phones blew up. Fans are stunned. Allegations of snitching? Yeah, they're on the table. But this isn't just about papers or paperwork. It's about respect, loyalty, and reputation. Imagine the tension. Wack 100 claims he has evidence that Max B cooperated with law enforcement while locked up. In street culture, that's the ultimate betrayal, a line you can't cross. And now, Max B is responding. He's pushing back. He's defending himself. And the chaos? It's spilling everywhere. Tweets, streams, social media debates, even in the clubs. This is the kind of drama that changes alliances overnight. Friends question each other. Rivals smell opportunity. The whole game shifts based on a single claim, a single response. The Clubhouse room became a battlefield where words hit harder than bullets and every sentence carries weight. You're about to witness a clash that's bigger than music, bigger than headlines. This is power, fear, and reputation colliding in real time. Max B versus Wack 100 is more than a fight. It's a lesson in loyalty, consequence, and what it really takes to survive in the streets of hip-hop. So watch closely. Pay attention. Because by the time everyone else catches on, the damage is already done. Max B just made his move. Wack 100 just dropped his claims, and the streets? They're watching. This Clubhouse chaos is far from over, and you don't want to blink. The moment Max B exploded on Wack 100, the atmosphere in the hip-hop community shifted instantly. It wasn't just a clash of personalities, it was a clash of reputations, alliances, and street credibility. The Clubhouse room that hosted the conversation became a digital battlefield. Every sentence, every reaction, every laugh and gasp from the listeners carried weight. People online were recording, screenshotting, and debating in real time. This wasn't entertainment, it was a live demonstration of power, loyalty, and fear in motion. Max B's response wasn't spontaneous, it was strategic. Every word, every emphasis, every pause was calculated to control the narrative. Wack 100 had leveled allegations that could destroy a career, claims that Max B had cooperated with law enforcement while incarcerated. In the streets, snitching is a cardinal sin, and the accusation alone carries explosive potential. Max B knew this, and he didn't just respond, he commanded the room with his energy, tone, and choice of words. He positioned himself not just as defending his name, but as exposing the audacity of the claims against him. The chaos didn't stop in the Clubhouse. Social media erupted. Clips of Max B's responses spread like wildfire, trending across Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Fans dissected every syllable. Some sided with Wack 100, some defended Max B, and countless others simply watched, waiting to see how this would escalate. The online storm mirrored the tension in the real world. Loyalty, respect, and reputation were being tested on multiple fronts. Inside the room, the energy was electric. Influencers, artists, and insiders chimed in. Comments flew, opinions clashed, and debates ignited. Each participant understood that alignment or disagreement had consequences. A single comment could affect a career, alter alliances, or trigger ripple effects throughout the hip-hop community. Every reaction was strategic, intentional, and consequential. Max B remained poised, even as Wack 100 continued to press the point. The accusations weren't new, but the timing and platform made them more impactful. The streets are attentive to credibility, and Clubhouse offered a live, unfiltered window into the conflict. Max B used this to his advantage, reinforcing his narrative while challenging the legitimacy of the claims. His supporters applauded, his critics hesitated, and the balance of power teetered in real time. As the discussion continued, new layers emerged. Allies of both sides began weighing their options. Who should respond publicly? Who should stay silent? Each choice carried weight because in hip-hop, silence is interpreted as agreement or weakness. Max B's decision to respond boldly forced everyone else in the room to reassess their positions. Influence shifted subtly but unmistakably. Loyalties were measured and reputations recalibrated. Meanwhile, the streets and online observers were watching every detail. Every gesture, smirk, and inflection was analyzed. Every post, clip, and comment was scrutinized for hidden meaning. This wasn't just a conversation. It was a live case study of street politics, perception management, and strategic communication. Max B demonstrated control, while Wack 100 tried to assert authority, but the scales of influence fluctuated with every exchange. By the hour, the chaos reached new heights. Videos and screenshots were uploaded to YouTube, where commentators added context, analysis, and their own takes. Fans engaged fiercely in comment sections, debating credibility, loyalty, and the implications of Max B's rebuttal. Online discourse became a mirror of the power struggle in the room, amplifying the stakes and broadening the reach of the conflict beyond the clubhouse walls. Private conversations started elsewhere as well. Artists, managers, and insiders reached out to assess fallout and potential consequences. Every player recognized that the accusations, the rebuttals, and the public attention were more than just a story. They were shaping influence, reputation, and future opportunities. Alliances were reevaluated. Messages were carefully worded. Relationships were tested under unprecedented scrutiny. Max B's ability to maintain composure while delivering a calculated, pointed response shifted perceptions. Observers recognized the skill it took to manage both the content of the rebuttal and the energy in the room simultaneously. Every sentence reinforced his credibility while questioning the legitimacy of Wack 100's claims. It was a delicate balance of confrontation and control, executed in real time under the eyes of an engaged audience. As the night wore on, the aftermath of the Clubhouse session became clear. Social media continued to buzz, discussions carried over into podcasts, interviews, and blogs, and the hip-hop community remained fixated on the narrative. What began as a single accusation had spiraled into a multi-platform phenomenon, forcing all parties to navigate a landscape of loyalty, perception, and consequence. Max B's bold responses, combined with the intensity of Wack 100's allegations, created a high-stakes environment where every participant's next move was critical. The streets, studios, and social media channels all watched closely, understanding that the implications of this conflict would echo long after the session ended. It wasn't just drama, it was a lesson in influence, strategy, and survival in the hip-hop world. The players had established the stakes, the dynamics had shifted, and the audience was fully invested. Max B's energy, Wack 100's provocations, and the chaos on Clubhouse had set the stage for the next wave of fallout. Loyalty would be tested, reputations would hang in the balance, and the streets were ready to witness how the story would unfold. This was only the beginning, and everyone knew the next chapter would be explosive, unfiltered, and impossible to ignore. The aftermath of the Clubhouse chaos left everyone in a heightened state of alert. Max B's explosive response had not only defended his reputation, but also shifted the dynamics of the conflict entirely. Wack 100's claims lingered in the digital ether, but Max B's energy controlled the narrative. Every participant in the hip-hop scene was now recalculating their positions, every alliance, friendship, and rivalry being weighed against the unfolding drama. Fans dissected every clip, every tone, every word Max B delivered. Social media became a battlefield. Twitter threads erupted into heated debates, YouTube videos analyzing every gesture and sentence went viral, and Instagram comments section became a forum for speculation, support, and outright attacks. The intensity was unlike anything before. The stakes were elevated, and the implications were real. This wasn't just entertainment, it was a public evaluation of credibility, loyalty, and street power. In private circles, insiders began making strategic moves. Artists, managers, and collaborators reached out to gauge where the balance of influence now lay. Could Max B weather the storm? Could Wack 100's claims regain traction? Each decision carried weight because the ripple effect would be long-lasting. Silent observers measured reactions, allies reconsidered allegiances, and rivals plotted potential advantages. The subtle shifts in behavior were as telling as the public statements themselves. The studio sessions and in-person interactions changed dramatically. What was once casual conversation became a tactical environment. Every greeting, handshake, or seating arrangement was a signal. Trust was measured by consistency, and alignment was tested under scrutiny. Max B's team carefully strategized their moves, ensuring every statement reinforced credibility while mitigating potential fallout. Wack 100, on the other hand, attempted to maintain his presence, pushing the narrative through digital channels, social media posts, and interviews. But Max B's live performance in the Clubhouse had already set the bar for engagement and control. Meanwhile, new players entered the conversation. Other artists, influencers, and online commentators saw opportunity. Some sided with Max B, reinforcing his narrative. Others amplified Wack 100's claims, keeping the controversy alive. Podcasts dissected the drama in detail, offering perspective, analysis, and speculation. Fans were glued to updates, waiting for the next escalation. The streets, studios, and online platforms all intersected in a complex web of influence and reaction. Alliances continued to shift. Those who initially remained neutral began to take positions. Minor acts, liking a post, sharing a clip, or commenting publicly, were now interpreted as statements of loyalty or disloyalty. Every micro-interaction had macro-level consequences. Max B's strategic restraint in some moments and assertiveness in others demonstrated his understanding of timing and influence. Wack 100's persistence kept the controversy alive, ensuring that no one could ignore the tension simmering across the scene. By midweek, the stakes had further escalated. Certain rumors about past interactions and alleged documents supporting the claims added fuel to the fire. Fans, insiders, and media outlets amplified the narrative. Each platform offered a different lens, but the overall effect was the same. The story dominated attention, drove discussions, and reshaped reputations in real time. Max B's credibility, Wack 100's audacity, and the overall drama became a case study in perception management and influence within hip-hop. Private conversations became more calculated. Teams advised on messaging, content strategy, and public statements. Every word, video clip, or post was designed to either reinforce credibility or challenge opposing claims. Digital analysts and social media commentators noted that Max B had successfully regained narrative control after the Clubhouse eruption. Yet Wack 100's persistence ensured that tension remained high, preventing any clear resolution. The balance of influence was now dynamic, fluid, and fragile. As the week progressed, online communities engaged intensely. Threads on Reddit, Discord, and Twitter exploded with reactions, memes, and fan theories. Every angle, past incident, and possible future development was analyzed. The story transcended simple beef. It became a lesson in loyalty, perception, and street credibility. Every participant, from the core players to casual fans, was impacted by the unfolding drama. Max B's calculated responses and Wack 100's relentless provocations demonstrated the stakes of power and reputation in hip-hop. Decisions were no longer about music alone. They were about control, influence, and survival in a hyper-connected environment. Each player, including allies and rivals, realized that every public or private move could shift the balance. Timing, tone, and delivery were critical. Missteps were immediately noted, analyzed, and remembered. The environment was charged with anticipation. The narrative had escalated beyond a simple accusation. Loyalties had been tested, reputations challenged, and alliances recalibrated. Max B maintained his stance, asserting authority and credibility, while Wack 100 kept pressure on, ensuring the conflict remained relevant. Fans and insiders alike were glued to the story, understanding that the next moves would define long-term influence and perception. This stage set the foundation for the next chapter, the final confrontation, the fallout, and the ultimate resolution of the Max B versus Wack 100 saga. The stakes had never been higher, and the tension was now palpable. Every observer, participant, and fan knew that the next phase would be explosive, unfiltered, and impossible to ignore. Nothing would be the same once the story reached its climax, and every decision leading up to it carried the potential to shift reputations, loyalty, and influence across the entire hip-hop landscape. The tension that had been building throughout the previous sessions was now at its peak. The streets, the studios, and online platforms were all watching as Max B and Wack 100 navigated the fallout from the Clubhouse chaos. Every word, gesture, and post carried amplified weight. The saga had evolved from a simple confrontation into a multi-layered battle of reputation, influence, and perception. He reinforced his credibility publicly, responding to allegations with clarity while controlling the narrative. His statements were precise, calculated, and designed to leave no room for misinterpretation. Every clip shared, every live response, and every comment posted carried intentional impact. Max B knew that his actions not only defended his name, but also set the stage for how future interactions and alliances would be shaped. Wack 100, relentless in his approach, continued to push the allegations and challenge Max B's narrative. Social media amplified every interaction, from posts and clips to memes and reactions. Fans debated fiercely, with some defending Max B, some aligning with Wack 100, and others waiting to see the eventual fallout. The online discourse was intense, bridging platforms like YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. What started as a single Clubhouse conversation had grown into a full-blown digital battleground. Private discussions within the hip-hop community became increasingly strategic. Artists, managers, and influencers evaluated their positions. Each decision to comment, share, or remain silent carried consequences. Loyalty, credibility, and street respect were continuously tested. Max B's team worked to ensure that every interaction reinforced his strength and minimized vulnerability, while Wack 100 sought to keep pressure high, ensuring that the controversy stayed relevant. Studio sessions and public appearances were no longer casual. Every handshake, seating choice, and interaction was calculated. Minor gestures were scrutinized for meaning, and every alliance was measured against loyalty and credibility. Both Max B and Wack 100 had become central nodes in a network where perception dictated influence, and the stakes were extraordinarily high. As the days progressed, the fallout began to crystallize. Alliances shifted in subtle ways. Some former allies of Wack 100 reconsidered their position. Some neutral parties aligned more closely with Max B. Online commentators and fans played a role in reinforcing these shifts, as social proof and public perception increasingly influenced real-world relationships. The combination of digital and street-level reactions created a dynamic environment where influence constantly ebbed and flowed. Tensions peaked in the week following Part 2. Alleged documents, old interactions, and claims resurfaced, providing fodder for heated discussions across platforms. Each side leveraged history, evidence, and narrative control to assert dominance. Max B remained calm and controlled, strategically using public forums to reinforce his stance and credibility. Wack 100 continued to agitate, ensuring that every move Max B made was scrutinized and dissected. The public's engagement intensified. Video clips from Clubhouse sessions, combined with interviews and social media updates, created a feedback loop where every new piece of information triggered analysis, debate, and speculation. The conflict transcended personal drama. It became a case study in influence, reputation management, and strategic communication in the digital age. By midweek, the story had reached a critical point. Max B's responses had stabilized his narrative, reducing the immediate impact of Wack 100's claims, while keeping tension high enough to maintain public engagement. Both sides understood that perception was as important as reality. Any misstep could be exploited, any word could be weaponized, and every public or private action had potential long-term implications. Alliances continued to shift subtly. Messages, private meetings, and social media engagement were all used as tools to measure loyalty and influence. Observers noted that Max B's strategic approach had successfully reframed the conversation in his favor without escalating into open confrontation, while Wack 100's persistence ensured the story remained a focal point for attention. Fans, insiders, and casual observers were all engaged in a complex dance of allegiance, judgment, and speculation. The players had established positions, tested loyalties, and measured influence. Maxby had reinforced his credibility and demonstrated strategic dominance. Wack 100 had maintained pressure and ensured public scrutiny remained high. The digital footprint of the drama, combined with real-world perception, had permanently altered the dynamics of the scene. The conflict reached equilibrium. Reputations were reinforced, alliances clarified, and future strategies recalibrated. The Clubhouse chaos, viral clips, and social media storms had transformed a single conversation into a defining chapter in the ongoing narrative of Maxby and Wack 100. Every player involved understood the stakes, the lessons, and the implications. Loyalty, credibility, and influence had been tested, reshaped, and now redefined. The story concluded with the understanding that while the drama had reached a temporary resolution, the lessons learned about perception, strategy, and influence would continue to echo across the hip-hop landscape. The streets, studios, and digital platforms all recognized the power of a calculated response, the danger of unfounded claims, and the importance of managing both narrative and reputation. This was not merely a feud, it was a masterclass in influence, strategy, and survival in the modern hip-hop world. Yo, the streets just witnessed history. Maxby went off on Wack 100, the Clubhouse exploded, and the social media world hasn't stopped talking. This isn't just beef, it's a lesson in loyalty, reputation, and street strategy. If you're serious about hip-hop and the drama that shapes it, you need to pay attention. Here's the move. Smash that like button if you felt the tension, if Maxby's responses shook you, if the allegations had you on the edge of your seat. Then, subscribe and turn on notifications, because stories like this don't wait. They hit fast, they hit hard, and you need to be first to see them unfold. Drop a comment below and tell the world, was Maxby right to stand his ground? Did Wack 100 push the narrative too far? Your opinion matters. This story isn't just about two names, it's about how loyalty, fear, and influence collide in the streets and online. Every move, every word, every reaction can change everything. Stay tuned, because this saga is far from over. Maxby just made a statement. Wack 100 just challenged it. And the streets? They're watching every detail. Don't blink, you might miss the next wave of drama. Remember, credibility is power, silence is dangerous, and the truth always finds a way to hit hard. Be part of the conversation. Watch, comment, and share, because the next chapter is coming and you want to be ready.